Okay, today we're going to work on some Mo-Barbell-ity, which is basically showing how your barbell can be your best friend with a few different moves. So first one we're going to do is called the kind of a shoulder sink down. So this is really good when you're working on getting that extension in the bottom of a ring dip, where you want to make sure that this shoulder has really good external extension right here. Maybe a little bit of internal, but you definitely don't want your shoulders to be totally rounded. You want to make sure everything is neutral, that shoulder is back in its socket. So you're going to have a barbell on a rack to about the height that you would use for any kind of back squat or front squat. And you're going to face away from the bar. We're going to start with a wide grip, but I want you to bring your hands out wide, rotate your shoulders outwards, and then grab the bar. So you definitely don't want your shoulders in. You want to make sure that they're rotated out. Take a full grip around the bar so your fingers are not just hanging, but grip it fully. Rotate those shoulders outwards, and then make sure that your rib cage is pretty neutral. You don't want to overly bend your back, but you want to make sure that pelvis is tucked in. Rib cage is neutral. And then once you get this here, this may feel like a pretty good stretch already, but you're going to start to slowly sink down, and you're going to feel a really good stretch in the upper front part of the shoulders. So again, keeping those shoulders rotated out, neutral spine, kind of start to sink and lower down. If you have the bar a little bit lower on the rack, you may actually get down to your knees on this. So that's a really good stretch to do for about 30-45 seconds. You can also bring your hands in also a little bit closer, or see if they can touch. Make sure that the shoulders are rotated outwards and not inwards. Keep that, again, ribs neutral, and try to sink and lower down to get just a little bit more into that shoulder stretch. Second thing we're going to do is working on getting this front rack position. So in some cases, the tricep muscle under here may actually be the limiting factor. It may actually be tight. I mean, it could be like all different kinds of stuff, but we're going to focus on the triceps. So your barbell on your rack is a really great way kind of in between sets to work this out. So I like to place my tricep here, straighten the arm out, and kind of rotate it back and forth. And do this all along the entire tricep. And it's a really good way to kind of knead out that area so it can stretch, so you can get a better front rack position. I think we forget to think about our triceps a lot. We neglect them. I think a lot we always think about the back and the forearms and the wrist. But I think that our triceps are very integral in a lot of lifts we do. So you can do this, for about 30 seconds or so on each side, or straighten out about 20 times. Straighten, rotate across, straighten, rotate across. Just feels really good on the triceps. Now we're going to focus a little bit on the upper neck. So a lot of times when doing like overhead movements or push presses, and I sometimes get this too, where I get this weird pinching feel right in this like upper back part of my neck. And it's usually because I end up getting like really too tense, or maybe I'm not quite mobile enough in the overhead position. So let's work on how we can get into that area. So barbell is on the rack, okay? So you're going to position your neck right on underneath that barbell, kind of right in that nice meaty area right there. And then rotating your arm outwards. So again, we're biasing that external rotation. You're going to just do some arm raises. So this feels really awesome. You can kind of even, rotate around to the side to just get different parts of your neck. Sometimes I even like to roll the barbell within the rack back and forth. That feels really good right now, as I'm kind of lowering and raising the arm. And you want to make sure you keep the elbow straight. It's not going to do anything if you just kind of bend the arm. What we're working on is this overhead mobility, working in the push press. And this also helps to just isolate that area in the upper neck a lot more. So if you're feeling a little tight there, this is something I definitely recommend. And the weight of the barbell really helps to dig into that area where your fingers and stuff. So anytime you need that barbell assistance, with you, that helps a lot. Last thing we're going to go over is something that you can do to target the front pec, or this internal rotation that a lot of people usually are missing, let's say when coming in on the snatch or even on the ring dip. So for this one, you'll need another heavy barbell as well as a little bit of floor space. So basically what we're going to do is position the barbell right over this area right here, or actually I like to do the bigger part of the barbell right here. And you can even wrap your leg around the barbell to kind of lock it in place. So coming up to this stop sign position, now we're going to work on internal rotation. So this barbell again is working right into this inner shoulder pec area, and we're working on getting about 20 to 30 lifts. Working to get that forearm and hand towards the ground, keeping the elbow and the upper arm against the ground as we're doing this. So try not to pop the arm up. It's pretty tough. Like for me, I'm pretty restricted and limited here, so I really need a lot of work in this area as well. If you have a buddy or a friend who can push down on the barbell, that's another way to kind of dig in there just a little bit more. But again, this really helps to get that internal rotation. And we'll go to the other side. Again, I like to have my foot over the barbell just to lock it down in place, and working on that internal rotation. Grab an empty barbell, make sure it's a heavy one, not those 15-pound ones if you want a little bit of weight, and let it be your next mobility buddy.